Join us every week for coaching and Q&A. You'll learn how to get more listings signed and sold following the simple and fun EZ listing method. Plus, find hidden gem tips and get motivated as you surround yourself with like-minded peers in this weekly mastermind. Let's jump in.
Well, look at that. We got our normal crew in here. So, hey, everybody. So, that lady is doing a Novation with Mike Weiland. We were able to save that one with all these new things that we offered. Hopefully, we will be unveiling late this week everything, which means, Ron, if anybody's buying enterprise seats, you're probably going to have to execute it before this week's over.
Yeah.
I think we're that close to having the corporation done.
Okay.
So, anyways, and then Kenneth, I understand you were looking at maybe getting some as well, but the
Yes.
price is going to go up significantly once this corporation's built, this new guys. Because I can't wheel and deal once we have a board, and the board will set the price. And again, maybe they want to wheel and deal. I don't know. But it didn't sound like they want to wheel and deal on the price of enterprise seats because they all have them. They're all making money with them. So they know the value of them.
What exactly is that?
So we have a way to get agents and brokers paid for everything that closes on the site. So you know how we have our minimum $1,500 and $5,000 cap? So you can, in theory, buy a seat license for a real estate agent and give it to them for a certain price. And then every time they close something on the site, we give you 10% of the company money. So like in your area, Frank, they'd all be, over 500,000. So every time they close something, you'd be making $500, and that goes on in perpetuity for you. If you have an agent that, like in Kenneth's case, where he owns his own brokerage, he can buy, because if an agent wants to buy their own seat license, it's $5,000, and we can sell seat licenses as low as $500. My best friend and I own 80 seats myself that I paid $500 a piece for. And so it's a way for agents to collect residual on everything that we do. We built this thing because of the brokers, because of the NER settlement, to help brokers stay in the business and retain their agents. I think everybody knows that I was a managing broker with Century 21 in Seattle. I started out with 50, grew it to 100, and then every year I'd bring on 25, I'd lose 25. I'd bring on 50, I'd lose 50. This is a way to retain the agents. Most of the people get sucked in the EXP. They have residual coming from the revenue line that they built, revenue share. So they get stuck where they can't leave because they get that money coming in. And the difference between us and them is you don't have to ever stay with a brokerage. You can go, if you're the seat license owner, you can do whatever you want to with it. Then if you have an agent that's not selling anything, you dump them and replace it. You give it to another agent.
So that's how, Robert, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
So that enterprise works where myself as a broker, right? And the other broker that I'm in partnership with now, we would buy one seat license, or would we pay the entire enterprise fee? And then
if it would be, first of all, to get the $500 price, I was making people buy 20, because you got to buy at least 5. But if they're only buying 5, I don't sell them for $500 a piece. But you spend 10 grand. It was the theory behind it. You're locked in at $500 forever. But every time you execute a purchase, it's 5 seats. You can't just buy one at a time. And then you fill those seats up, and we put them through all the training, same training you guys have been going through.
Okay.
In fact, instead of it being 5 weeks, Joy, how long is it going to be?
It will be 4 to 5 hours, just a one day.
And a lot better looking person doing it than me. So, no, She's got the passion and she's got the heart of gold. And so we are doing our first demo on Wednesday with, in fact, some enterprise seat owners, putting them through the training. And so there, we're going to be doing our first 4 to 5 hour training and see how that goes.
Now,
So-
is that's over one day, or is that spread over?
Just one day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the 5 week, we started out with 20 people. By the end of the 5th week, we're always down to like 4 or 5. And that just doesn't work because they're going out and getting listings. Oh, I know how to work this thing. And they go out and get listings and say, well, maybe I didn't know all I knew how to make it work, but I knew how to get the listings. So we have this whole changeover, you guys. Just wait until you see these leads and these other things that we're going to be doing and unveiling to you. Like I say, look at Wyland, man. We saved saved his listing. He had that sucker on for one day and he yanked it and said, nah, I'm just going to sell it to Open Door. And he didn't have anywhere to go with it. But he did. We just got to get a message to you guys. Because you all have a place to go now. You all have things to do. Plus, too, it's the fun side of this business, just helping sellers make more money. I love it. And I think I told you guys I had a listing appointment myself on Friday. So that guy probably going to do a novation with. By the time we got done, and he had told the lead people that he would take, $800,000. My wife and I went out, looked at the house, and just not worth it. Not worth it at all. And that novation's a way for us to get the price where it needs to be. Put some money into it. We'll put the money in. He carries the paper still, and then we split the profits at the end. So he'll make probably an extra 200 grand by doing it that way than he would do it on his own.
Wow.
And by the time we were done, he goes, Robert, he goes, I got to sell this house. I got to sell it. And that's really where we want our homeowners to be. Not that they have to, but it's just like, why do they fight themselves on selling it? And he has heard every pitch in the world. He had 2 wholesalers say that make all these promises, didn't deliver. He had a fix and flip guy sign a thing, never delivered. And that's the difference between us and everybody else. We will deliver on it, and hopefully it'll be you guys delivering it and making the money with them, not us. Where we're moving to, it's a wonderful area, and these people that are coming on board are just amazing.
You're teasing us a whole bunch. I can't wait to see when it actually launches.
I got to tell you something, Mike. Putting these guys together, there was a lot of phone calls, a lot of negotiating. It was just the right thing to do. Joy came aboard. I mean, she's leaving a very successful real estate business to come in and train. I would say that part that's helping us is maybe the economy. Joy, would you agree with that? Like, if everything was kicking butt, why would they come aboard?
Yes and no. I think that thing I love about the platform is that it is effective in any state of the real estate business. I think it would have been hugely successful in a time in the 2020, 2022 when, things were gangbusters. I think that would have been, would have been a little bit more on the buy side, being able to have that transparency and have buyers be able to bid online. I just think that would have been easier for real estate agents, it would have been easier for sellers, and it would have been way better for buyers. They could, instead of that blind, highest and best, who knows stuff. I still think that that's effective for buyers today. But I mean, I know in our area, in the Nashville area, it's becoming a lot more of a buyer's market. Not quite so yet, but in some areas, I mean, the absorption rate looks like it's pushing in the 6s, which kind of pushes towards more of a buyer's market. So in that, I found it's a little more effective for sellers right now, because I have, instead of sellers having their house sit on the market for 3, 6, 9 months, they can get it done in a couple weeks. So I think the idea of the tech just transfers naturally within the market itself. So no matter what market you're in, I think it wins. It's just how you, and I think that's kind of part of the training and kind of how we're trying to help agents is be able to navigate, okay, what does my market look like right now? What are my buyers' needs? What are my sellers' needs? And then how do I match the platform accordingly? If it is like you said, you go into a place where it's have to sell situation, then right then you're like, okay, this is a cash offer or a novation. Or if it's, I just had sellers that we had a successful bidding platform where it wasn't a have to sell situation, but they're like, this is a rental, it's not being rented, it's just sitting on the market, it's costing us money. We don't want it to be on the market for 3 to 6 months. We want it under contract and on its way. And we did that within 5 days. So they were ecstatic. If you have sellers that are like, there's just no way I'm going to drop the price that much, or just are just way too nervous or whatever it is, then you're like, okay, we can do a traditional listing then. So I think it gives you every option available.
I'm
There you
inclined
go.
to agree because that option, Robert, is inclined because a lot of people may have that apprehension at first because they don't understand it, or for whatever reason, they don't understand the term zero. They don't know what that term means. They like it, they just don't understand it. You can take them right back and okay, fine. Let's continue. Let's do this listing as a traditional listing, and we move forward from there. You don't have to walk away from the table or just go back to what they're used to. You know, some people are creatures of habit and they refuse to change, but this really gives, I agree with you, Joy, really give you that ability to go back into the traditional listing. Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's a unique value proposition. It just you can't beat it. I think everybody knows that I paid Roger Butcher $1,800 to figure out how to put streamers up from a roof line down to a sign for the open house so it got noticed. And then you make the house smell like peanut butter cookies. And $1,800 for that, And if I had a platform where I could offer a 0% listing and meant it for every seller out there, I'd be retired right now.
Oh, we'll get
So,
you retired, Robert. Just hang on. We'll do it.
but anyway, and I think my point about this cast, the chosen, the cast of characters that have come on board, I think that's what I was saying, that the economy, because this guy with GeoFlip, I mean, our accountant did a valuation for everybody's business. His was worth $10 million supposedly, or some idiotic number. And I think the economy, that all of the stuff works separately, but it's slower to bring in this group of people, and as dynamic as they are, and with the success that they have, coming into our platform, giving our agents a leg up on every single facet of real estate. I don't think I could have pulled this thing off 2 years ago with everybody. Maybe I could have, maybe not. But they are 1,000 times more stronger with us, and we're 1,000 times stronger with them. It was just a win-win situation. And they were all making money. They didn't necessarily need us, but they did the right thing by coming aboard, and including Joy. I don't think Joy's got a successful business. She didn't need to come on board, but I think the vision that they have and where their hearts are, saving real estate agents right now, all of us have that in common. We care about the real estate agent, we care about the consumers. We have no hidden agenda. We're not the good old boys club. Right now, this is about doing what's right for everybody. And I think that that's another reason why they've all come aboard too, because we're not settling. We're not doing things for money. We're doing things to put the real estate back into the real estate agents' pockets. And that's not an easy thing to do. I mean, it's overcoming the good old boys club, overcoming these guys that have ran the industry into the ground. I mean, look at that new rule, the co-oping on listings. You know, you don't have to put it in on the market anymore. So what are they doing? Telling brokers, just sell them in your brokerage. How is that representing the seller? So just stuff like that we got to overcome together. So today is your day. What can I help you guys with? What questions you have?
I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of the issues that the August 17th decision impacted buyers. This deal with this cooperation thing now impacts the seller where he won't have the property marketed in a wide enough sphere to really get value. And now I heard something, I believe the social media, where Redfin was purchased by Rocket Mortgage, supposedly to compete with Zillow's all-in-one app. You know, so these guys are out here, man, and they're not playing fair, and they really doesn't care too much about the agents, even though the agents as in Zillow are fueling and paying for their very existence. They're not very favorable to the agents. So when I saw that Rocket Mortgage had bought Redfin, I said, oh boy, here we go. This platform really gives the advantages. And we'll talk to you later about the enterprise.
It's a
Mhm.
good way to make money.
Yes,
It
and
goes
it
on
makes a lot of
forever, and
sense.
all of us have invested in it. Joey's got 20 seats. Michelle's got 20 seats. I've got 80 seats. Now we're just, when we deal with these investors and they want to use our agents and they don't want to buy seats, we give them one of ours. It works out really well for all of us.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a good way to, who doesn't need more money in real estate anymore? All of us do.
Yo, yeah,
So,
absolutely. 100% agree.
yeah. So anyway, just a wonderful way to keep your neck out of water and pay your bills, maybe put more into marketing, do whatever you want. The great thing is those seats go on forever. You know, they don't ever leave. If you get a crappy agent, bump them off it. Give it to somebody else.
Robert, I have a question real quick. At closing, has a lender ever challenged the buyer premium being added to the price of the home, looking at the closing statement?
Nope.
You never had a lender? Okay, good.
Keep in mind, Kenneth, after the events run, seller
Right,
chooses the buyer. Now they're writing up just a normal purchase sale agreement. So
right.
it turns into just a normal real estate transaction once the seller picks whichever offer he wants. So nope. And more people would ask, well, has that ever affected the appraisal? Well, we've never had one with an appraisal gap in the 10 years we've been doing this. Could it happen? Sure. And people, will say, well, what do I do if that happens? Well, if you had 100 people at the open house and you get backup offers like we ask you to do through training, when people see that many people at the open house, the comment they always give me is, I'm going to write you the cleanest offer, no contingency. I'm not asking for anything. I'll waive the inspection. We're going to give it to y'all. We're just the cleanest of deals. But I still get the backup offer. And when I get a backup offer, if I have 100 people there, I'm not getting it for their last offer price. I'm having them match the last offer that the seller took.
Mm,
So
excellent.
and we've got a video testimonial from some buyers at Quinn Greenlee. The lady made it so clear, I was not going to lose this house over $20,000. And that one, Quinn double-sided it. It went from 600 to 751, it went up like $150,000. And then, so he had his buyers and sellers do a testimonial, and the buyers is clear as day. We love the transparency, and I was not going to lose this house over $20,000.
Got
And
it.
Because of the transparency, she was more than willing to let Quinn be the agent and let him double side it.
That's the buyer, Michelle?
Yes. The buyer saw the transparency and went, there's no reason with all this transparency that the listing agent can't represent us as well.
Yeah, it's making more and more sense. I'm glad I did what I did to move forward with my business. So
Hey, Ken,
Yeah.
you just got to keep hanging around a bunch of this, and that rubs off on you pretty well.
yeah, well, I'm pushing to get something, at least a couple properties in. I go on vacation the first week of June, so I got to get a couple in. The agents in the new office I'm with, they're going to help me when I'm on vacation. So they said, whatever you have, Ken, we'll help you with it. So I've got help now.
That's always nice.
Well, we are going to give you a bunch of tools to, train your new people and make them successful.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you.
So, hey, Robert, just out
Yeah,
of
Michael.
curiosity on the enterprise stuff, are you just doing this a cash in hand, or are you financing
What?
the seats? Because I don't know if the broker is going to jump in on things yet, and we only got 8 people in the brokerage.
Paul was actually talking about it when we go up to the new price and doing that, but I don't know. It's a good question, Michael. That's something the new board.
Yeah,
Can,
no,
do.
it's just I'm not going to be able to get this one closed in time to prove it to her, and that's part of the deal I made with her. She can't, or she won't jump in until I've proven a deal. So, oh well,
Hey, you know what?
we'll just go with the new stuff.
Price just goes up. That's all. It still makes money. I mean, that's the good news. We'll never get up to a price where they're not going to make easy money on it, but it's just going to be a lot cheaper right now. Right now, well, I got the reins. So that's enough. I don't know what the board's going to do. Joey's on the board. I don't know what she's going to say. I'm on the board. I know what I'm going to say. We have we have 8 of us on the board, right? And there's some changes coming down the pike, you guys, that the board's been talking about. But again, it's all for you guys. It's all advantages and all great things for you. And it's a very smart group of people. If you can afford it, if you can pull it out, Ronald's been trying to get them for quite a while. If you guys can afford to do it before we get the incorporation, just get a better price. Doesn't mean it's not worth it, but I like the $500 price myself. So anyways, what kind of other stuff you guys want to talk about?
You know what I wouldn't mind going over, if you're free to do this, is this listing appointment you went on Friday.
Yeah.
You guys are going to do the novation. Would you mind going through kind of the terms and stuff? Because I mean, you said he thought it was worth 800,000, and you said no way.
He thought it was worth 800.
Yeah, and you said no way, but you said you've been able to structure something. Would you mind going through those terms
Sure.
to get a better handle on this?
We went out and took a look at it. And the home has I know you guys don't know Seattle that well, but the home has a water view. We have the Puget Sound, and when you get up on a hill and you're overlooking Puget Sound, is like just one of the most stunning places in the world. So this home, so the traditional Gig Harbor, has everybody's heard the name of Tacoma, right? So Tacoma is probably 30 miles south of Seattle. The very south side of Tacoma, you take a bridge called the Narrows and cross over this spit of Puget Sound. Like every time we get on, does everybody remember that bridge that fell apart in Seattle, the Narrows Bridge, and back in the 60s, the wind was catching it right, and this bridge just actually started wobbling. If
I
you ever,
remember seeing that.
Galloping Gertie, they called it at the time.
and then they had to redo the bridge. But so it's gone from, I'm going to say 20,000 people probably to 600,000 now that live over in Gig Harbor. And most of the homes and the people would go by over there because they get a home with a view. So this home is one of the old homes, still got an oil tank for heating. And so that's got to be
Decommissioned.
Yeah. And then we've got to put a new HVAC in it. So when the people had called the leads, the owner of the property had said that he had gotten a $900,000 offer that didn't go through. Then he had an $875,000 didn't go through, and an $830,000 and didn't go through. He had also said that he had tried to work with some wholesalers, two of them. And does everybody know what wholesaling is?
Yes.
Okay.
Robert?
Do you know what wholesaling is? Wholesaling a
Oh,
home?
yeah, man. I'm also, yeah, I'm a contractor and an agent, been for years. Matter of fact, I'm the contractor that qualified Alton to get his license. So, yeah, so I've been wholesaling, flipping houses for a minute.
All right, so he had two wholesalers that had come in, made some grandiose to learn how to be a real estate investor, they're not learning real estate. What they're doing is buying into a program where basically they're teaching them how to rip off sellers. They want you to keep all the money. They don't want to work things out fair with sellers. And so he had tried to do two wholesale deals and said he's just not interested in that. And again, this stuff comes through a dialogue, you guys. When you can come in and say, look, we've got so many ways to help you make the most amount of money, from the cash offer to the novation to the fix and flip to the wholesaling to all this stuff. And then not if you don't like any of that stuff, I'll list your home and not charge you a commission. It gets their attention. And then you go out and talk with them, and the conversation comes about, hey, let me, let's take a look around the property. Let's see what you got going, and then let's work out the best way for you. So we got to his property. The front yard was an absolute pile. He put a septic tank right out his front door and then put the gravel instead of, covering it with grass. Put gravel and pea gravel where it's impossible for something to grow out there over it. And then, he's just, the yard's a wreck. It's probably a half-acre parcel, at least. The backyard's even worse than the front yard. It's got like old, laundry equipment and garbage out there. Then he had started working on the house, and it looks like his landscaper was doing the work on the house. The flooring was hideous. It was the cheapest flooring that I had ever seen in my life. It was not hardwood, but it was like I wouldn't even call it a laminate. I don't know what it was. You would drop some water in that thing and that flooring would probably disintegrate. So he had done that in the living room. He had replaced all the small windows, and yet the biggest window that had the view of the spit and the sound is probably, I'm going to say it's 8 foot by 10 foot window that had blown gaskets, and he didn't replace that one. And it's probably the most important window in the house to have replaced, but it's expensive. Then the bedrooms, it was a split level. You walk into the floor, you go up 5 stairs, and there's 4 bedrooms up there. And then you go down 5 stairs, there's a whole nother basement that's, I'm going to say, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,700 square feet. Again, ragtag carpeting. So all the carpeting needed to be replaced, needed to be painted. He had painted upstairs, but again, horrible job painting. And so anyways, so we got done with looking at everything, and then I sat with him for another 45 minutes. And we just started talking, and the first thing, I asked him was like, what would be in your best interest of doing this? This is a home that his mom owned. And the guy, he's a professor 40 miles south of Portland, Oregon. He's got homes all over the US. And you could just tell it was taking a toll on him, this home. Because he just couldn't get caught. The reason why people didn't execute the purchase sale agreement, because it would have taken probably $300,000-400,000 to make the house worth the $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So we sat and talked about it, and I said, look, you had told us that you would come down to $800,000, which on paper looks okay, but coming out here and looking at the house, we're not even close. So I'm not going to embarrass you with a cash offer. We don't do that to people. I don't want to steal this home from you. But we have this thing called a novation. And what we will do is we will put the work into the novation. We figure out a price for the property. So in this case here, my wife says 600, I say 500,000. We'll put 200 into it, so make it worth that would make the $700,000 now, and then that should turn it back into $1 million seller. And then we would split the proceeds off of that $700,000. So we get our 200 back, and then he gets his 500, and then we split the proceeds out of the deal. So I'm going to have a call with him tomorrow. He's still at the house today, but I've got to get some prices on some stuff. And so that's where I'm going to proceed with it, because it's the right thing to do for him. And it's the right thing to do. I don't, people are saying, well, just put it on the platform. I was like, you know what? I don't want to put it on the platform. It needs too much work. It's going to be investors that would buy it. And so if he doesn't want to do what I want to do, so we'll negotiate tomorrow. But my plan is 500, and we're going to put minimum 150 into it, maximum 200, and we go and sell it for there. So I am pretty sure he'll go along with me because he trusts us at this point. Because this really is about what's right for him. And he can stop coming up here. He can stop all the nonsense. And the stuff he's putting in is destructive. It's making it worse. It's not making it better.
So now when you're done with the rehab and you put it back on the market, are you going to use the easy method, or are you just going to do it traditionally?
No, easy.
Okay, good. I don't think this guy's going to lose at all. I think that it's going to be great for everybody.
Yeah. Well, we had his attention out there. He knows. Yeah, I mean, Mona went through the house with a fine-tooth comb, and the stuff that she's built and put together has been absolutely fabulous. And so she had, told him some things that we would do, and he was just going like, "Oh, that didn't even think about doing that stuff." So I think when it's all said and done, I think we'll end up doing it. Yeah, if he doesn't want to do the 500, I'm probably not interested in doing anything with him, because when we start ripping walls and start looking at stuff with somebody's been using an oil heater, you don't know what you're going to find. So, but he sat and talked and listened to everything. And when we left the house, he just looked and goes, I'd really appreciate if you can help me. I don't want, I don't want to be doing anything in this house anymore. I've had enough. And you could tell by the work that was done, he had had enough too. But, we went into the house and talked to him on the phone. You guys got to remember, we set this thing up when I was in Cleveland. So he waited 2 months to do anything until I got out here. And that comes with rapport, that comes with the dialogue, that comes with, and every one of you guys, we're all capable. If we really have the heart to take care of the seller, they'll wait for you, and they'll end up doing the right thing. And so it's so easy. I mean, I can't even tell you. It's just so easy to talk to people with all the things that we can offer them at this point. Does that help, Frank? Does that answer the question?
Yeah. Does he owe anything on the property, or is it free and clear?
Nope. No, free and clear.
Oh.
And what's your time frame to do this rehab renovation?
45 days.
Okay. So assuming he takes your 500, after the sale's made, he gets his 500, you get your whatever you put into it, let's say 200, and then from there, whatever the profit is, there'll be the cost of sale and stuff, and then you guys are just going to split the
proceeds
there.
Yeah. And realistic, both of us ought to come out with $110,000, $120,000. after paying an agent to list it, because we won't list it ourselves. We'll have one of our agents do it. And that's my wife's rule. Never list your own homes. Get another agent to do it. So we've always done that. So,
Sounds
but
good.
the ease, you guys, it's just, we're gonna be working on these leads in your areas. I'm telling you, get ready.
Hardly wait, I'm ready.
Yeah, we all are. I'm sorry it's taken longer than I thought to put this thing together. It's a lot of moving parts with 10 businesses coming in.
Hey, it's not 2027 yet. You're doing just fine.
What does 2027 have to do with anything?
Not now.
Just a date off in the future.
Yeah. Anyways, you got anything else we can go over? Anything else you guys want to know about anything?
Yeah, Michelle, I had sent a question to Michelle about that particular, the leads site or the leads program. So you're working on that now, or once my
Yep.
website gets up and running, I can get involved in that too?
So we're building, just so you know, we part of this cast of characters. There's 2 programmers that are coming involved with this thing. And those programmers, it takes a while to do these pay-per-clicks and these other leads to make sure we're getting them in the, for the pre-foreclosure, foreclosure, and also just for other things. They're building the programs out right now. The for sale by owner, we're ready to go on that. We just gotta get incorporated, and then that will be soon. And we may start releasing them next week. I got a meeting here at 11:30 with the programmer, and we'll find out exactly where that is. But the for sale by owners will be the first thing. And y'all heard Joy. Joy's worked a couple of them. I've worked a couple of them, and it's just they're easy.
Excellent. Excellent.
So,
Well, I secured myself a good photographer, videographer that's working with me. He's excited about the system. He's looking at it. He had a license for 6 years and went into the photography end of things. So I've got that end working nicely. In fact, tomorrow we're going to go out to the property that I listed and we're going to do the video. We're going to do the pictures. He's got the aerial done. We're going to do a Matterport on it. I told him we're going to blow this thing up because I wanted to use this as a marketing tool for any future projects. He said, yeah, I'm all over it. Let's go. So
very good.
yeah, no, it's
Congrats, Michael.
working out great.
Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's it's just it's a fun business, I'm telling you. Love it. So all right. If there's no other questions or anything else, Joy, you have anything you want to say?
No, just that, again, if you guys have any questions or topics that you want extra training on, I'd love to hear feedback or topic requests.
Thank you. Michelle,
Yeah.
anything you want to say?
Well, I'm good. I know I got Mike's note on his listing coming up 1 week later than he expected. And I know Joy has 2 coming up this month. Anybody else have any coming up?
No, but I'm on the way.
On the way. Like
On
to
the
hear
way,
that.
absolutely.
All right, everybody. Thanks for attending, and I'll see you. What is Topic Thursday? Does anybody even know?
Yes, I had. Yeah, it was beginning a series. Topic Thursdays is going to be the vendor series.
Oh,
What a
strategic
series.
partners. Very
Yeah.
good. Yeah, we got strategic
Deep
partners
dive on
coming
working
aboard
with a
too.
different B2B partner each week.
There we go. All right, very cool. All right, everybody, thanks. We'll see you on Thursday, if not sooner. If you, everybody's got my number. If you have any questions, need help, let me know.
Great, thank you.
All right,
Have a
bye-bye
great-
now.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great week.
Bye.